Last night at the city council meeting, Mrs. Patton brought up the subject of area businesses that are going to require uh, people to have a high school degree in order to work at that business or have a GED. Uh, I think what she said was misinterpreted by Mrs. Hoyle, and Mrs. Hoyle was thinking that anyone that didn't have a high school degree or a GED as of 2012 was going to be kicked out on their rear and they weren't going to have a job anymore. And those are the people that Mrs. Hoyle represents. Uh, are are the people that are down and out. I believe in her heart and soul that is who she represents. And I appreciate what Mrs. Patton stands for. I think that sometimes she goes about it the wrong way, but she's passionate in wanting this city to turn around. But we have to worry about unintended consequences of some of her methods. And I think she's strong-willed, and sometimes she doesn't realize that if we let her have her way on these things, that in the long run it may affect the city in an adverse way. What she, I believe, was talking about was the city of Hickory moving along that process, and tied together with what the mayor was talking about grandfathering people in, and what city manager Barry was talking about facilitating the ability of the people to go ahead and get their GED. I think that those are worthy merits, and we're all very much supportive and have high expectations of our citizenry, and we want them to be educated. But the one issue is that we can't take it to the level of legislating that people get high school degrees or GEDs or they can't work, because you know what will end up happening? They won't work. That's what's going to end up happening. Okay, especially when they're at a young age and they decide school's not for me, I don't want to do it. At that moment in time they might not want to do it, but we can't sit there and because they're not going to go to school, and so you know how kids are, they're not going to go to school no matter what, so you're not going to sit there and force them to go to school. What we have to do is we have to strike an interest, and we have to show them how education is of a benefit to them, and we're going to have to reintroduce the wheel. We can't go along with the way that education is, this cookie cutter education. If a person goes to the doctor and wants to get well, you don't always diagnose them the exact same way. No two people are the same. So we need to treat education the same way. No two people are the same. So we need to prescribe the best education for the individual. And besides, we get stuck on the notion of education, education, education. But if there aren't any jobs waiting for these people out here when they do get educated, then they're not going to find value in that education. So that we need to worry about the job situation more than we need to worry about the education situation. One of the things that has happened in this area is that people that do go out and get a get a college degree, be it 2-year, 4-year, master's, doctorate, there aren't the jobs right now for those people in this community. So if I have a kid that was an honor student at Hickory High, okay, such as several people that I know, they go to NC State or the University of North Carolina or wherever to college, and they obtain their degree, and they look back for the jobs here in Catawba County, they can't find them, so they can't come back. So that suppresses our educational attainment numbers. And it's time that we understand that. We have to understand everything that goes in to the equation of how we got to where we're at right now. And the way to fix this part of our system is because we don't want to lose the system. We want to bring the system back to the way it was back in the 90s. Let's foster that innovation and ingenuity in this area. And I've talked about the idea of that science fair, of getting volunteers from attorneys to accountants to mentors to help our people in this area who may have innovative ideas. Let's move that process along. We're going to have to come up with some tangible ideas, or the people that are working on the Future Economy Council or the Small Business Job Growth Team, people are going to lose faith in us if we don't come up with some tangible ideas, and we need to do that sooner rather than later. So let's think about some of the ideas that I've discussed as far as the micro lending and some of these incubators that we can do them, and we can do them without spending a fortune on it. So that's all I have to say on this subject, and we'll see you next time on Hound Vision. Thank you. Bye-bye.